Hey adventurers, this is Mark. Welcome to Adventure Pass. All right, I held out this long. We are mid-August, a little bit past mid-August, getting almost to September. I'm not used to this, but I am going to talk about Halloween haunted attractions. I'm starting now. Yes, I've been a traditionalist. I've always felt, the closer you get to Halloween, like at least the month of October, I'm okay talking about haunted attractions and things like that. But you know what? We're talking about those things months before they happen. And yeah, so I want to start getting into the Halloween season now. I'm actually going to be uh, talking about some other Halloween things this coming weekend, but let's dive into our discussion today. Universal Horror Nights versus Not Scary Farm, which is better? All right, I am a Southern California resident, and I've been going to Universal Horror Nights and Not Scary Farm for a really, really long time. So if you only have time or money for one of these events this year, which one should you choose? Halloween Horror Nights or Scary Farm? So let's talk about it. Look, both are fantastic. I have loved both for a really long time, but we're going to kind of define a little bit of it. So the first one, uh, Halloween Horror Nights, right, gives you a big Hollywood kick, right? Massive movie franchises. It feels like you stepped on a film set. Um, the other one, Scary Farm, right? You're going to be getting a lot of roaming monsters, original characters, a lot of unpredictability. Let's say that. Um, so let's see which one is going to be the best choice here. So we're going to break this out in rounds. So let's go to round one on this versus matchup. Okay. And the category for round one is going to be the haunted attractions themselves. Um, Universal Horror Nights has one big advantage. Okay, it's Hollywood. Halloween Horror Nights can take major horror movies and television shows and franchises and turn them into some absolutely amazing attractions that you can walk through. You can recognize the characters, the music, and the scenes, and it just absolutely feels that you are in that movie. You feel so immersed. It's fantastic. And where Universal really nails it, where they really get it down, it's the production quality. It can be unbelievable. It can feel like you've actually walked into that movie, right? Not Scary Farm takes almost the complete opposite approach. A lot of its mazes are based on original concepts and ideas, which means that Knott's gets to create its own stories and environments and characters. And I love that because you really don't know what you're getting. You don't know what's coming when you go to Knott's Halloween Haunt. Um, so yeah, there's a little bit something special about discovering the originality of a maze for the first time. So for the pure cinematic production, Universal wins. For the creativity and the original storytelling, Knott's has a serious advantage in that category. Let's go to round two. Okay, the scare zones. This is where things get a little interesting because Not Scary Farm has something Universal, um, is trying to match, and that's the ghost town streets. Walking through Ghost Town during Scary Farm is it's a very uh, different experience if you have never done that before. It's honestly, it's an attraction by itself. It's the fog machines and the lighting. They do such a great job. The scare actors, they slide across the ground. It's a lot of fun. And sometimes you're not even sure who is a scare actor until they're right next to you. Yeah, it can be very confusing over there. Um, and that's the unpredictability that makes Knott so good. But Universal absolutely has scare zones too, and some of them are absolutely amazing. Um, but again, as you go through these scare zones, it feels like you're moving from one attraction to another. Um, and at Knott's, the space between the mazes become the attraction. For the scare zones, I'm going to give this one to Knott's Scary Farm. But again, Universal has some absolutely amazing uh, scare zones that are tied into their high budget films, and they're absolutely amazing. All right, round three. Let's get into some heavy hitting here. We're going to talk about the atmosphere. Universal Horror Nights feels like a massive horror event. It is. It's the crowds are ginormous. There's big intellectual properties, the big productions. I went last year and they had the pre-show with a bunch of fire and music, and it was crazy. It was next level stuff. The energy is, you can't compare it. The energy is through the roof. It's so amazing. Um, and Knott's is a little different than that, right? It has a little bit older vibe to it. It's a little bit darker, a little bit strange and odd. In some areas, it can be a little bit unsettling. There's just something about walking through Ghost Town at night with the fog. Uh, and then, when you're at Universal, it feels like that horror movie. And sometimes, you know, I feel like at times feels like the whole place has become haunted. And for me, that's big distinctions between the two parks, but both do it so really well. Round four, let's talk about the rides. Okay, this is another big difference. Now, both parks still give you access to major rides during the Halloween events. At Universal, you can mix horror houses with attractions like Jurassic World, Jurassic Park ride, Revenge of the Mummy, and other major experiences. At Knott's, you've got the Ghost Rider, Hang Time, Silver Bullet, and more. And riding something like Ghost Rider late at night at Scary Farm, it does feel completely different if you haven't done that. So, if you're somebody who wants to spend the entire night doing haunted mazes, both events are going to give you plenty to do. Let's get into round five, the value. This is one of the biggest factors, of course. What are you actually getting for your money? Universal, it's a premium event. Okay, you're paying for those enormous franchises and the sets and the effects and the Hollywood level productions. And for some people, that absolutely makes it worth it. And it is. It absolutely is. But Knott's traditionally built its rep around giving guests a huge amount of Halloween entertainment throughout the park, through the mazes, the scare zones, the shows, the roaming characters, decades of Scary Farm history. So, yeah, I think both are very competitive when it comes to the value. All right, so which one is scarier? Okay, this might be the biggest question. Universal can absolutely scare you, but a lot of scares happen inside the controlled environments. And I went to Universal last year, and boy, let me tell you, some of the scares there are killer. Uh, some effects and things and how they do it. I've never experienced anything like it in my life. They're becoming really, really good at the scares. Um, and by the way, I just want to throw this out there. If you haven't been to Universal Horror Unleashed, uh, over in Las Vegas, you need to go there. That is absolutely terrifying. Let's just say it's Universal Horror Nights on a different level. I'm just putting it out there. Okay. So kudos to Universal Horror Unleashed on that. It's crazy. Um, so yeah, over at Knott's, right? You walk into Ghost Town, there's fog everywhere. Somebody slides across the ground right in front of you. There's always a constant threat at Knott's. You're never really safe anywhere. And I see also Universal becoming the same way as well. So both very close. Um, this one's a tough one, but I will give. Knott's Scary Farm, a slight edge here. But if you're gonna compare that to Universal Horror Unleashed, yeah, Unleashed, next level, telling you. All right, final verdict. So which one should you choose? If you're a huge horror fan and you love you love Hollywood and the movies and the massive franchises, the big sets, uh, Halloween Horror Nights is going to be the winner for you. If you're wanting the original mazes and the scare actors and the scare zones and the thrill rides, and that how everything's transformed for Halloween, Not Scary Farm is going to be very difficult to beat. And if I could only choose one, and here's the thing, I don't know if I could. I honestly, I would choose both. I would choose both. I feel both are absolutely amazing. Um, But again, on my recommendations, if choose the one uh, that you feel comfortable going to and which one feels right for you. And you may want to do both, and that's perfectly okay. But yeah, I would choose both. I can't really pick one over the other. I usually go to both every single year, and I am looking forward to going to each park this year. All right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button. And don't forget to comment below. Which one do you like better? Put in the comments HHN, Halloween Horror Nights, or Scary Farm for Not Scary Farm. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you on our next adventure. Take care, my friends, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.